Hello and welcome to Sky Sea Channel, the channel that always discusses anything about the sea. Today we're going to talk about one of the most controversial topics in the world: how China built invisible islands to control the South China Sea. You may have heard of them, but do you know what they are? How they were built? And why they are so important for China's military and geopolitical ambitions. In this video, we will reveal the secrets behind China's invisible islands, and how they are part of a winning strategy to defeat Taiwan and the US. But before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. What are China's invisible islands? China's invisible islands are not really islands, but rather man-made structures that were built on top of existing rocks, reefs, or coral formations in the South China Sea. The South China Sea is a strategic waterway that connects the Pacific and Indian Oceans, and is rich in natural resources such as fish, oil, and gas. It is also claimed by several countries in the region, including China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei. China claims almost the entire South China Sea as its sovereign territory, based on a historical map that shows a dashed line enclosing most of the sea. This claim is disputed by other countries and rejected by an international tribunal in 2016. To assert its claim and expand its influence, China started to build invisible islands in the South China Sea since 2013, using dredging ships to scoop up sand from the seafloor and dump it on top of the existing features. According to the Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative, China has created at least 7 invisible islands in the South China Sea since 2013, spanning almost 3,200 acres of new land. The most important ring of artificial Chinese installations is located on the Fiery Cross Reef, 8 degrees 51 minutes north 112 degrees 55 minutes east, Subi Reef, 10 degrees 55 minutes north 114 degrees 04 minutes east, and Mischief Reef, 9 degrees 55 minutes north 115 degrees 32 minutes east, in the disputed Spratly Islands. These islands look impressive from above, but they are even more impressive from below. They are built on top of rocks or reefs that are barely visible at high tide. To create these islands, China used massive dredging ships that can suck up sand from the seafloor and transport it through pipes or hoses. These ships can move up to 4.5 million cubic feet of sand per day. That's enough to fill 45 Olympic-sized swimming pools. How are they used? China's invisible islands are not just piles of sand, but rather sophisticated military bases that host ports, airstrips, radar and missile installations, fuel storage facilities, and naval facilities. These islands allow China to project its power and presence across the South China Sea, and to challenge the freedom of navigation and overflight of other countries and international law. China's invisible islands also pose a direct threat to Taiwan and the US, which have close ties and mutual defense obligations. Taiwan is a self-governing island that China considers as a renegade province that must be reunited with the mainland by force if necessary. The US is Taiwan's main ally and arms supplier, and has pledged to help Taiwan defend itself from any Chinese attack. By building invisible islands in the South China Sea, China can potentially cut off Taiwan from its allies in Southeast Asia and prevent US forces from intervening in a cross-strait conflict. China can also use its invisible islands to launch missiles or aircraft against Taiwan or US bases in the region, such as Guam or Okinawa. Why are they invisible? China's invisible islands are not literally invisible, but they are very hard to detect and monitor by conventional means. This is because China has deployed advanced technologies and tactics to conceal its activities and capabilities on the islands. For example, China has used camouflage nets, decoys, underground tunnels, mobile launchers, electronic warfare systems, and anti-satellite weapons to hide its military assets and infrastructure on the islands. China has also used civilian vessels, such as fishing boats or Coast Guard ships, to patrol and protect its invisible islands from foreign intrusion or surveillance. Moreover, China has used diplomatic pressure and propaganda to discourage other countries from challenging or exposing its invisible islands. China has warned other countries not to interfere in its internal affairs or violate its sovereignty in the South China Sea. China has also portrayed its invisible islands as peaceful and beneficial projects that provide public goods such as maritime rescue, environmental protection, scientific research, and weather forecasting. What can be done? China's invisible islands are a symbol of its revisionism and aggression in the South China Sea. They are also militarily significant and useful for China's strategy to defeat Taiwan and the US. However, they are not invincible or unstoppable. Other countries can take actions to counter China's invisible islands and defend their interests and rights in the South China Sea. For example, they can conduct freedom of navigation operations, FONOPs, or overflight operations, FOOPs, near or over China's invisible islands to challenge China's excessive claims and assert international law. They can conduct surveillance and reconnaissance operations to monitor and expose China's activities and capabilities on the islands, using satellites, drones, submarines, or other platforms. They can conduct military exercises or operations to deter or respond to China's provocations or attacks from the islands, using stealth, precision, speed, or other advantages. They can conduct diplomatic or legal actions to isolate or sanction China for its violations of international law and norms in the South China Sea, using multilateral forums, alliances, or coalitions. These actions may not be easy or risk-free, but they are necessary and justified to preserve the peace and stability in the South China Sea, and to protect the sovereignty and security of Taiwan and the US. But what do you think? Do you agree with China's claim and construction of invisible islands in the South China Sea? Do you support the actions taken by other countries to counter them? Do you think there is a peaceful solution to this dispute? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And that's all for today's video. I hope you learned something new and interesting about how China built invisible islands to control the South China Sea. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos. Thank you for watching Sky Sea Channel, and see you next time.